Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Hi everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the call. We have 50 or so people and more joining every minute. So fantastic. Lovely attendance. Lovely to see so many of you on the call this evening. I'm just going to pin my wonderful colleagues who are also on here. So we've got Ankita, we've got
Hi.
Lucy, and we have the fantastic Sam. I mean, they're all fantastic. Don't know, Sam, you got an embellished welcome. So yeah,
Love
welcome
that,
everyone.
baby. Thank you.
So it's dinner party in the house tonight. So it's entertaining theme. We are super excited to showcase tonight recipes to use with your Thermomix to basically wow your friends and family and anybody else you might have coming over the spring holidays and into the rest of April. I don't know about you guys, but it still feels quite autumnal down here in Devon. It's very rainy. Today we had 3 lots of hail and all the rest, but I'm hoping that summer is on its way. But yes, today we are very excited to be showing you lots and lots of recipes. We're going to be doing, I think, 5 or 6 between the 4 of us. And as usual, we have our chat box. So for anybody who's not familiar with Zoom, 2 things to set up. Please make sure that you've got your computer on speaker view. That means that whatever we showcase, you will see on the biggest screen. And please also open the chat box and feel free to pop your questions, your comments, your thoughts in there. There's lots of you on the call with the Thermomix already. We love hearing what you've been making. Obviously, with it being seasonal, what have you been making that maybe you weren't making a month ago with the change of weather? So yes, use the chat box. And we're gonna crack on. I know that there are some people on the call tonight who haven't got a Thermomix, and so I will be covering a little bit of that for you as well, including our offer for the month. So all the girls, we're going to introduce ourselves as we go, but girls, give a quick wave. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
And I will just keep myself on so that I can show you guys the biggest view. So, ladies and gents, my name is Bea. I am a Thermomix advisor and team leader based down in Devon and Cornwall. I have had a Thermomix for 7 years. And yeah, I've only joined to just earn it for free. And here I am 7 years later now leading a team. I really love the product. I use it every single day. And you might get a visit later from my little boy. He's 5 weeks old. And so for me, it's enabled me, like today, I was cooking dinner with him in a sling. It's enabled me to do all sorts of things that I wouldn't be able to do with normal cooking. It just wouldn't be safe to have him so close to the hob. So I love my Thermomix. Through all seasons of life, it has changed how I use it. And yeah, for me, it's just a complete game changer. I don't know how anybody cooks, day in, day out and enjoys it without one. So tonight, I'm going to be showing you a recipe called chocolate fondants. I'm going to get into that later. But first off, what is a Thermomix? This is the Thermomix. It's a TM6. It's the latest model. It is Wi-Fi enabled. It tells you kind of step by step through recipes, and we'll show you different views of the screen as we go. But essentially, it's a bowl with a blade inside of it and a lid, a measuring cup. It also has a steaming unit, which Sam and Ankita are going to showcase to you tonight. And all of it comes apart. It's dishwasher safe as well, which is another massive win for me as a mum. And Thermomix controls 3 things: time, temperature, and speed. So with that precision, you get incredible results. It's one of the reasons why the Michelin star restaurants use it. And so tonight, as we think about entertaining our friends, fine dining, that sort of stuff, it's that precision, that temperature control, that mixing control, that timed cooking, all of that is what results in beautiful, consistent kind of cooking and results. So yes, I hope that you enjoy our demonstration this evening. The Thermomix, if you're interested in buying one, is always 1279. We never reduce the price. However, this month, if you want to pay just £69 extra, you get the fabulous cutter, which Lucy's going to demonstrate in a minute, as well as an entire mixing bowl for that bundle. So The mixing bowl itself is worth 169. The cutter is worth 99. You get both for just £69. So you're saving nearly £200 on that offer. And on top of that, we can offer you 12 or 24 months, 0% finance to spread the cost. So yes, do chat to your advisor, whoever sent you on the call this evening, and we will be able to send you more details and information. And if you're sat here on the call and you're thinking, Flip, that's a brilliant offer, think about your friends. Who is it who's like come over and swooned at your Thermomix, or who you've had dinner party conversations with and they've gone, my goodness, I could never have one of those. Actually, with the 0% finance, it's so much more affordable. Please do reach out to them and just mention the offer and mention your advisor to them. So I'm going to pass over to Lucy. She's going to get cooking for us. And for those who want the cookie dough links, I'll be popping them in the chat as well. So keep an eye on that to get the recipes. Thank you for joining us. Over to Lucy.
Hi guys, thank you for joining. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lucy Wiley. I'm a team leader in South Wales, and I've been fortunate enough to have a Thermomix in my life for 5.5 years. And I cook for a family of 6. I'm super excited to show you this recipe tonight because it's such an easy recipe. And I was just looking around my island and thinking, including salt and pepper, there's actually only 9 ingredients. And so I'm cooking the fish pie with a potato gratin. And if you have got a Thermomix and you have got a cutter, when you look this recipe up, make sure you go into your preferences and make sure you've got the cutter accessory ticked, and then you'll be able to find the recipe, but I'm sure we'll be putting them into chat as well. Because for the purpose of a smooth demo, we do weigh things out beforehand. So I'm just going to start the recipe. So I've sent the recipe to the Thermomix for those of you who don't have one. And the great thing about the Thermomix, it will even tell you what temperature to have the oven on. So my oven's on at 180 degrees. And then the steps I did, so I weighed in my potatoes. And then I also weighed in my leeks. But one thing I wanted to show you, so we're doing 600 grams of potatoes and 200 grams of leeks. But I just wanted to show you, because I prepped this afternoon, I actually used the blade cover, which if you haven't got one, you can also get as a host gift for inviting 2 people, 2 friends to see a Thermomix demonstration. And so I used my blade cover, just 4 minutes in the Thermomix, and it peeled my potatoes. Now you can see with the potatoes, you know, they're not totally perfect, but you know, for a potato gratin, it's absolutely fine. So that's my potatoes. Now, of course, if you've got any questions, do ask for them in the chat. So I'm going to show you how we put the cutter together. Super, super simple. And as you know, if you've got a Thermomix, we don't have all these annoying accessories that are difficult to put together. It's simple. So the shaft, we are just simply going to place over the blade, as so, and it's as easy as that. Now, again, the other great thing about the cutter is when you're using it, you're not getting your Thermomix dirty because it has a separate bowl. So again, for our existing customers, if you're wanting to purchase the cutter, it's £99. But if you want £30 off, again, it's our host gift as well. So speak to your local, your advisor, and they can tell you about that. So the blade, you've got 2 sides to this blade. One will do slicing and the other will do grating. I grated cheddar cheese for the first time the other day, which was fantastic because, of course, before the cutter, we just grated our cheese in the Thermomix. So I'm making sure that I put it the slicing side up, just pop it on. And then the last part is just the top of the cutter. And there's just a little silver element there, which we just align, and in it goes. So if you're wanting to use the cutter, which are not part of a cookie dough recipe, then you'll go across to your modes and you'll find that mode sat right at the bottom. But of course, for this recipe, the mode comes up within the cookie dough recipe. So first of all, we're going to get our potatoes. So they're nice and small, so I don't need to worry about cutting them up at all. And then, do you know, I've just suddenly realised, hang on. There's me thinking I'm organised, just the top to push everything through. So I'm going to pick thick, so it's giving me an option. I'm sorry you guys can't see the screen. So it's saying thin or thick, and I'm simply going to turn it to thick, and you'll suddenly hear the motor going. And then all I'm going to do is pop. So this is 600 grams of potatoes. Straight through. I had my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter, doing potatoes for me the other day, and she did 1,200 grams in 34 seconds. So that's it. That's how easy the potato topping is. So let me just show you this super quickly. Can you see? All done, and you can see all at exact same size. So I'm just going to pop that to the side now, because what we're going to do is do the same with the leeks. So you can see the leeks being chopped up as well. So that's all okay. So we're going back to turning it to thick. Be lovely to know if any of you guys have tried this recipe. So again, same thing, just popping the leeks through. And so, and we're done. So that's our prep done. And I'll just show you the results. Can we see? So lovely, nice. So I'm just going to pop that in a bowl at the side, and then of course that can pop into the dishwasher afterwards. So I'm just going to go to the next part of the recipe so we can get it sorting, and then you'll just be coming back to me in 5 minutes. So to this, I'm going to add 40 grams of unsalted butter, which I've already weighed out. To that, I love this recipe, honestly. Once you've tried it once. Now to that, I'm just going to add the sliced leeks. And I must say as well, this sauce I've used when I've grilled some chicken as well. I don't keep it just for the fish pie. And then we're going to add a fish stock. So I'm just going to crumble that straight in. And then we're going to do some salt and pepper. So I'm just going to pop that in now. And that's it. Job done for 5 minutes. So I'm going to use my simmering basket on top because a certain amount of steam needs to come out for this recipe. And all I do is pop it on, and it's just going to saute now for 5 minutes, and I'll see you for the next stage of the recipe.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lucy. So you're welcome back into my kitchen. And today I'm going to be showing you chocolate fondants. Now, these used to be like my go-to when I went to a restaurant. If I always looked at the menu on the, on the puddings first. And if this was on the recipe, on the menu, that's it. Starters were out the window. It was a main and a pudding for me. Now I make them, and they are like my wow dish that I show my friends. There's 3 different versions on Cookie Do. Basically, they're all good. I pick whichever one I have the right ingredients for. They slightly vary in the size of eggs that you use. And so basically, yeah, that's what I tweak. The other good tip to know about this one is it uses so little flour that it really doesn't matter if you want to switch it to gluten-free flour. It still works perfectly. And obviously then it's gluten-free. And I have also done them dairy-free using dairy-free butter. So Flora plant-based butter works brilliantly as a switch in this. So we're going to be doing chocolate fondants. Let me show you my screen up close, just so that you can kind of see how the Thermomix works. So on screen, we have our menu. Sorry, I've squashed so much onto my surface here so that it runs smoothly that I've not got space for my laptop. Right, you can see on screen the recipe. It comes up with a picture. If you scroll with your finger down, you can see the ingredients, you can see how long it takes, how many portions, etc. Don't look at this when you're entertaining, but you can see your nutritional values as well. But you know, we want to enjoy our dinner parties and our nights out. But there's also things like hints and tips. And one of my favorite things about this particular dessert is you can prep it in advance. You can prep it up to 2 days in advance and leave it in the fridge, or you can prep it weeks in advance, put it in the freezer, and then just defrost it to bake on the night of your dinner party. I'm also going to show you a little hack later on when I assemble it. As Lucy said, the Thermomix guides you through heating up your oven. It tells you how to grease your molds. So I have pudding molds like this. And basically what you want to do is grease them first, and then you just take a little sieve with some cocoa powder and just kind of dust it with powder, or you can just tip cocoa powder in, swirl it around like this to coat all the sides, and then tip the cocoa powder into the next dish. The reason why we use cocoa powder and not flour is because if you use flour, it will leave a white residue on the outside of your fondants, and that doesn't look very pretty when you tip them out. So preparation is key in making sure you have a nice presentation. Then we're going to start by grinding our sugar. So as you can see on the screen, it pulls up my scales, it zeroes them automatically as well. And when I take the lid off, it takes it to a minus figure. So to bring it back to 0, I just press tear. If you're within the recipe and your lid's off, it will automatically do that, obviously. So I've got golden caster sugar. You can use granulated sugar if you don't have caster sugar. Honestly, don't stress. The kind of slight amount of molasses in this sugar just adds a bit more of a fudgy flavour. And the Danny Valent recipe from Australia uses brown sugar, in fact, to give you that more fudgy flavour. So 25 seconds, speed 10, it's going to mill that flour down into an icing sugar. My sound will probably cut out just because of Zoom doing that. So maybe the girls can talk about some of the things that we might mill and grind in our Thermomixes on a kind of more regular daily basis.
Okay, well, I guess I can. Oh, we've still got B on it.
I love the dry ice effect there. It's very dramatic.
So my Thermomix was not smoking. That was the dust from the icing sugar that we've just created coming up through the top. Now, if you want to, what you can do is just pop a bit of kitchen towel in between the lid and the measuring cup. Or I've seen some people pop kitchen towel between the lid and the bowl here, so that then the sugar doesn't get on the lid. But let me show you. That is our milled down icing sugar. And we also make our own vanilla sugar this way, so you can mill up kind of vanilla bean pods into your Thermomix, with the sugar as well. And that is lovely for adding into custards and cakes and things. So the Thermomix tells us to transfer that to a bowl and set it aside. We'll come back to it later. I'm going to speed through the next 2 steps. So next up, we've got our chocolate, just cut in chunks. I use 75% chocolate because I love the flavour of it. So again, just 95 grams. Oh, perfect. There's 1 extra piece in there just for me. Right. And press next. Then we've got our butter. Always unsalted butter unless Thermomix tells you otherwise. So 90 grams of that. Pop our lid on. And now we're going to turbo. Sorry, I shouldn't have eaten that chocolate piece. Now we're going to turbo. So turbo is our fastest speed setting. It's like 0 to 1700 RPM straight away. And it has 3 different timings, half a second, 1 second, or 2 seconds. This is automatically programmed to 1 second. And all you do, it says at the bottom, turn it twice. So you turn it once, let go. It stops after a second, and turn it a second time. Let go. And press next. So because it's been turboing, it will be slight delay on opening the lid. You just scrape down the sides. That's chopped up my chocolate and my butter. And now the next 2 steps are melting that together. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, the restaurants love the temperature control. So here we have 2 minutes at 50 degrees and speed 1. Now, if you start heating chocolate above 50 degrees, you're going to separate the chocolate from the crystals from the fats and stuff and ruin the texture of your chocolate. So that's where this temperature control is amazing. If you're doing this traditionally, you would have a pot with hot water with a bowl over the top and a bain-marie. This is doing it for you. So just turn the dial, 2 minutes. And after that time, I can press preview. It's going to tell me to scrape it down, put the lid on, and do another 30 seconds till it's completely melted and everything around the edges incorporated. I'm going to hand back to Lucy, and she's going to carry on with her recipe.
Lovely. Thank you, Bea. So my leeks have now sauteed down. So let me just show you that perfectly. And it's amazing the smells that I'm getting as well. So to that, you're going to be amazed how easy this is. I'm just going to add 300, so maybe a little bit naughty on the calories, 300 grams of double cream. And that's simply going to just stir for 10 seconds on reverse blade. And what I've done already is I've got my fish ready in a bowl. And all I'm going to do is I've got some salt and pepper here, which I'm just going to pop over my fish. So half a teaspoon of both. And then I have got some lemon peelings that I just grated. So I'm just simply going to sprinkle that over the fish. And the lemon, you really taste the lemon in this dish. It's beautiful. And then,
sorry, Lucy, what kind of fish are you using?
I'm actually using cod.
Okay, thank you.
600 grams, and that is it. There's my leek and cream mixture. I hope, let me just pop that down a touch. And so I'm simply pouring that all over. And I will get the rest of the leeks out. And then you simply just pop your potatoes overlapping over the top, a little bit of butter, just a tablespoon of butter sprinkled over the top, and then it just goes in the oven for 40 minutes, and that is it. And all I'm going to do now while the girls are cooking, I'm actually going, because my family are all going to be cooking, I'm going to be eating tonight, I'm just going to pop my jug back on and I'm going to steam some broccoli to serve with the fish pie. So hopefully it'll be ready to come out of the oven by the end of the class. Done.
Amazing, thank you. I think we're going to go over to Ankita to start her recipe.
Oh, we're going to finish with you? Okay, never mind. All right. So hello, I'm Ankita and I'm based in London. And what I love about this this team of wonderful team leaders and advisors is when I hear Bea's story about little baby Joshua, who's only 5.5 weeks, I actually bought my Thermomix when my daughter was 4 months old. 15 years ago. So I've been a Thermomix customer for 15 years. And what's really wonderful is my kids are actually home from boarding school at the moment. And yesterday, my daughter cooked lunch and dinner, 2 different things with completely unaided. And I love the fact that they can do that. So it has really enabled us to, again, cook healthily, but everyone can help out in the cooking because I was at work. So I'm going to be making a potted scrambled eggs with asparagus. So we thought because it's spring, let's use some wonderful spring ingredients like asparagus. And I know not everyone can read my screen, but hopefully the recipe is there and I will read out as I'm going along. But this is a wonderful recipe to have as a starter for dinner, which I'm going to have tonight with some side salad, but it's also a wonderful brunch recipe as well. And the wonderful thing about it is that you can also use creative recipes to make multiple portions. So this portion is actually, it says 1 portion, but then it's quite a large portion because it's using 2 eggs. So you can half that, or you can again multiply it as well. So the great thing is that the recipes can be tailored according to your family or your dinner party size. So we're going to start cooking. And the first thing is that I need to grease some ramekins, which I have already done. Next step says, can I remove the spears from 4 asparagus stalks and set aside, which again I have done. And the reason why we want to do that is because we want our dinner parties and our meals to be really delicious. So this is just a pretty that we'll put on top, and cut the stalks into pieces. So I've just cut them into 3 or 4. So I'm going to place the asparagus stalks and 1 spring onion or shallot. And I didn't actually have a spring onion or a shallot, so I've literally put a slither of an onion. And so they're going to go straight in. Top. So lid on. And it's 3 seconds, speed 7. So that is quite fine chop at being speed 7. And I will just pull out my bowl to show you what that looks like there. And it says scrape down the bowl with the spatula, which again comes with the Thermomix. I'm just really lucky that mine also has my name on it, and that's one of the perks of being an advisor. We're going to use 10 grams of butter. And where did I put mine? So I didn't for 10 grams, I didn't actually weigh this out, but I did everything else. So that's 10 grams. Half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. So now another great little tip. If you don't want 5 grams is a teaspoon. So I want about, 2 to 3, because we don't do half, but we have just a slither of apple cider vinegar. And then we're going to actually steam and cook this. So let me grab my internal steaming basket. And that's just going to cook for 1 minute. So the wonderful thing is it's just going to slightly saute and stir at the same time. And again, you would normally do this on in a saucepan with a wooden spoon or a spatula. But the wonderful thing is I can do other things. One of the nice things, if you haven't prepped ahead, you can look at the preview button and it will then tell you the next steps. So the next step is I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of water, a little bit of ground pepper, and then some sea salt, and then my eggs. So while, that saute is doing, you could go grab those things. And what's really wonderful is once you actually need to go back to the step, you actually press the little number, which mine says 11, and it goes back to the step that you were doing. So you can preview as you go ahead, and then go back to where you need to, and it stops straight there. So we've got this wonderful steam, if you can see that, and we're going to get 2 tablespoons. And I, again, prefer using the scales. So I'm going to put 30 grams of water, 1 pinch of white pepper. I prefer brown, pinch of sea salt, and then 2 eggs. So again, I've already cracked these and they're going to go straight in. Insert the measuring basket again, this time with the measuring cup, which goes on here, and it's 5 seconds, speed 4. So this is literally just going to scramble them and mix.
And just to say, for anyone on the call who's like wanting to go freestyle, you get your cookbook with the Thermomix as well. And on page 27 in here, there's a guide to what all these different speeds mean and when's best to use them, and the same with the temperatures. So if you're like me and you haven't picked it up for 3 years, because you just like to get going with your Thermomix, don't be a fool, pick it up. Because when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in here. So yeah, grab your Simple Ideas cookbook that came with your Thermomix, look at page 27, and it'll give you a guide on all those speeds.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bea, for that reminder. So what we're going to do is move our mixture to our ramekins and gently place our asparagus spears over them. Now, one of the reasons I particularly wanted to do this recipe is because people hardly use the Varoma, and the Varoma is such a useful tool to use. So I've divided that into two just here, and I'm going to gently place my asparagus spears just at the top to look nice and pretty. And this is a benefit of a second bowl, right? The actual instructions say rinse and dry the mixing bowl. Well, I don't have time for that, whether it was in the class or just normal cooking. So I'm going to grab a second bowl, and second bowl is actually one of the free items for anyone purchasing this month. So I don't have to do that. I'm going to place 500 grams of water, and again, this is weighing and measuring for me. 500 grams of water. Replace the lid. And then the Varoma. So the Varoma is our steaming basket. It has 2 layers. So you can do that, but for today's purpose, we're only going to use the bottom layer. And I'm going to place these gently at the top of the Thermomix. Press next, secure the Varoma, and 20 minutes steaming at Varoma temperature. So I'm going to have this for dinner with some a baguette and some salad, but we'll be able to show you some photos when we're done.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ankita. So back to me. We have melted our butter and chocolate together. And the other thing that is beautiful about the Thermomix is these bowls are kind of slightly insulated. Stuff stays warm in them. So, you know, if my son had cried and I need to go and feed him or nurse him, I could have just left it here and it would have been fine. So you can see kind of my liquidy chocolate gold in there. And now we're going to go on to our next step. So we weigh in 50 grams of flour. It is that little flour. I wasn't kidding when I said it is so little. For six ramekins, it's a tiny amount. And that's why if you do gluten-free, it really doesn't matter. Next, we add in our reserved icing sugar that we made earlier. So yeah, look away. It is mostly sugar basically and chocolate. But aren't all the good things bad for you, right? So pop our icing sugar in the bowl. And at this point, this recipe doesn't call for it. But I'm also going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste, just because I find vanilla kind of really brings out the depth of flavor in these dishes. So this is my homemade vanilla bean paste. Again, if you're doing a lot of baking and stuff, do check it out. It's on Cookie Doo with the Australia filter. Fantastic for doing custards, creme pat, you know, those sorts of dishes. Really, really yummy. Clean my hands. Then we're going to add in 2 large eggs and 1 extra egg yolk. They go in like that. And pop our lid on and do the mixing. Now, I was tempted. I'm doing a cocktail as my second dish tonight. And obviously, I've got 1 egg white left over. So I was thinking, oh, I could do, you know, some sort of like amaretto sour or something like that. But I'm going to stick to what I'm doing. We don't waste anything. So my egg whites, they either get popped in the fridge and then I use them within a couple of days, or I freeze them in portions and I label how many are on them. And the power of the Thermomix means that you can blitz those frozen egg whites in like 10 seconds into a kind of paste, and then insert the whisk with a little bit of 37-degree heat, and you can whisk them up into a meringue really quickly. So you can work from frozen egg whites through to a meringue in a couple of minutes. So I love that, and I never waste the other half of my egg. So scrape down the sides. Again, we just want to make sure that we've mixed everything through. So use the angle on your spatula to do the hard work for you. It's all shaped to make it work around the Thermomix bowl really nicely and easily. And don't forget to take stuff off the top of your blade as well. So that goes back in, and 10 seconds, speed 4. Now the next bit is going to be our assembly. And this is where I wanted to share with you a little hack. There are a few things you can do. You can get some frozen raspberries. You can make balls of peanut butter and freeze them. You can get I've done it with Lindor chocolate balls as well. Or you can do kind of freeze little blobs of salted caramel as well. I'm just going to use in a few of them tonight, just some pieces of white chocolate. And what this does is, as well as the melting lava middle, when people put their spoon into it, the contrast, they go, oh, wow, that's amazing. So it's those little moments in a dinner party that make your food memorable, that make you look like you're a real connoisseur and actually you just follow the instructions. But you know, taking those little tips, it is really nice, and you can switch up the flavors however you like. So all it is now is just to pour these into my ramekins and bake. So my husband is delighted that we're going to be having these as a treat. We've already eaten our dinner. And so this is going to be our treat later. So I'm going to pop only a couple of them into the oven, but basically I'll even them all out, pop a couple in the oven, and then you'll see the results at the end. If you want to do a filling in them, you literally just pop it down the middle like that, and then the fondant will fill up around it. If you want to make sure that they're completely soft in the middle, do pop them in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes before baking. It just helps kind of make sure that you have a crispy outside. And yes, it does bake at 230 degrees. It's because you want to get the crispy outside very quickly without cooking the middle of your cake. Right, over now to Sam. Do pop any questions in the chat if you have them. But I hope you're enjoying yourselves. And thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Bea. Yeah, you reminded me about amaretto sours. They are so nice. I've got a bit of a reputation for being the one that does the cocktail. So I'm not doing actual food tonight. It's lovely to have so many of you on. My name is Sam, for those of you who don't know, and I am my Thermomix World _Mamamix. Not a mouthful at all, on Instagram, or just Mamamix if you follow me on Facebook. I have been a team leader for 9 years now. So yeah, again, my children have grown up with the power of Thermomix, and we eat very well as a result. It's a fantastic opportunity to collaborate with such a wealth of Thermomix knowledge. So I'm loving being in touch with these ladies, and yeah, we just really appreciate everything that our customers do for us in terms of being an ambassador for Thermomix on our behalf. And we know that in Easter holidays and any kind of holidays, really, lots of people are observing Ramadan at the moment. People come together over food when it's time to celebrate, and we know that you are essentially doing mini demos for us, so we are eternally grateful for that and for your referrals, because that really is the lifeblood of our business. We are self-employed, and we get paid a commission-based bonus. We don't get paid for our demos, we don't get paid for our cooking classes, so it really is vital. So if you have any friends that are interested, please refer them back to whoever it is that you're in touch with the most with Thermomix, because it is so appreciated. I know sometimes we sort of lose customers, and we've kind of really done our best to be really helpful, and then they'll maybe just find someone else that they don't know on Thermomix, or they might kind of fall prey to a scam if they see a Thermomix discounted. So anyway, I'm sure you will be able to give them the best advice on that. So on with the cooking rather than the waffling. I'm doing 2 recipes tonight. They have let me loose. So I'm meant to be doing steamed asparagus with caper crumbs. So I'm not going to bother steaming the asparagus just because I'm a bit mindful of time. And Ankita's done her lovely asparagus pots, but I've got a bunch here. And I want to eat them on Sunday, basically, but I'm going to do the crumb, and then I'm going to do some wild garlic pesto as well. So I've been foraging at Bolton Abbey yesterday, so I've got a nice big bag of beautiful wild garlic. So lovely springtime flavours. So these are just normal asparagus spears. You're basically going to have a really woody bit. So like Ankita was saying, there'll be a point where they pop, and that's really where you want to be sort of cutting them off at. And just looking at the picture of this recipe, what they've done is they've just cut that end on an angle, and it just looks so much nicer. So, you know, it makes us look very fancy pants, you know, just by doing something really, really simple, like cutting things on an angle, or, you know, being really mindful of our presentation. So just wanted to share that with you. So start cooking. I am going to save these crumbs for Sunday. So my parents are coming for Easter Sunday lunch. So this will keep absolutely fine till then. So what I've got here is I've got a slice of pal d'agua, which is probably one of our most cooked bread recipes, wouldn't you say, girls? Everybody loves this recipe. It's just wonderful. So have a look. It's now translated from the Portuguese into English on Cookie Do. So I'm just throwing that in. And the great thing about the Thermomix is you can make breadcrumbs out of fresh bread. You don't have to wait for it to go stale. So I've got 60 grams there, and I'm going to add some lemon zest. So you can see I've just taken that off with a peeler. There's no white pith on there. You see that? Well, I feel like a beauty influencer. They do that, don't they?
You totally look like a beauty influencer. I'm loving the red lip. Yeah.
I think, what are they doing? But now I get it. It's a light thing. Okay. So I'm going to add my lemon zest in. I always put more in than it's because I love, love, love lemon. 5 seconds, speed 8. So it's going to make me some lovely lemon scented breadcrumbs.
So I've just seen a question in the chat about my fondants. Just 1 second, Sam, sorry. So I have literally just popped them into the molds. And then funnily enough, my pudding molds fit the Nutella lids. So I literally put them in the freezer like that, but cling wrap over the top or whatever. And then I freeze them until I need them. And then they take about 14 minutes to bake from frozen. On to you, Sam.
I love that. You always have clever little hacks with random lids that fit other random items in your house. We did something before, didn't we, with the lids of Pringle things. I can't remember what it was now, but anyway. So that is our lemony breadcrumbs. If you wanted that to go finer, you could just go back a step on your Thermomix and repeat the process, or you could press the home button and it will bookmark your recipe, whiz over to turbo function, and just do something in manual mode. You know, you are in charge of your recipe. Nice. I love a bit of turbo. It's so satisfying. The men always love turbo. I don't know what that is. There we go. So we've got beautiful breadcrumbs there, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of capers, salted capers that have just been drained. Absolutely love. I always have, as Delia Smith once said, I always have capers in the pantry. I love that. 40 grams of almonds going in. These are just ones with skin on. You can use any nuts. I think hazelnuts would work really well with this recipe. A teaspoon of paprika. and some flat leaf parsley. Just the leaves only, you don't really want the stalks. And then some fresh mint as well. We're not needing to be very exact with those. Some black pepper. Put our lid on and 6 seconds, speed 7. Okay, so then I am going to just keep those as is, and they are ready for me for Sunday. I'm going to keep them in the fridge, and when the time is ready, I am going to pop them into a medium heated pan with a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. Can you see that?
I love capers. I really want to try that recipe.
It honestly, the smell, the lemon, caper, parsley, the mint, absolutely divine. You just know that's going to be good. And actually, you could even do double quantity, freeze some. That would be great to put onto a piece of fish. Really, really versatile. So,
and I saw on the recipe as well, they said you can use broccolini as well. So like obviously we're going into asparagus season here, but outside of asparagus season, you could use broccolini as well. You know, I'm sure like purple sprouting broccoli as well would be delicious with it.
Yeah, or tender stem or whatever really, even on like shredded Brussels sprouts, all sorts. Yeah. So that is my crumb. And then I think we're going back to you, Bea, are we, for your cocktail?
Yes, so I've had the baby, so now I'm on cocktails. I'm so excited. I am going light on the alcohol, don't worry, because I'm breastfeeding. But I am so excited for this recipe. It's another great reason to have a second bowl, because I've already put all my stuff from the first thing, I've put it in the dishwasher already. Now I'm on to my second bowl. And today I am doing for you guys it's my favorite cocktail. It is called mango daiquiri. However, you can use any in-season kind of fresh fruits that you like. I've actually just used, I know we're seeing seasonal stuff today, but I'm just using what I had in the house. So I've taken mango out the freezer and I've just thawed it this afternoon, and I'm just using thawed mango. So we start with our recipe, and we're going to start again by just milling our sugar. So it's 40 to 60 grams of raw sugar. I'm scaling this down just because it's only me drinking it. But 10 seconds, speed 9. And while Thermomix is working, I take advantage and I go and get other things from my fridge. So I needed ice for this recipe. So next up, that is our icing sugar. Next up, we're going to use our thawed mango pieces. So they just go in the bowl. Followed by our ice cubes. So because I'm scaling it down, it's only going to be a few ice cubes. I've actually done this without ice when I've used frozen mango, and I've just used more frozen mango. It makes, for the summer, you kind of almost serve it with a teaspoon, and it makes like a slushy. It's really nice. It makes like a slushy. Pop our lid on, and now we're going to crush the ice, like pulverize the mango into a pulp using the power of the blades and the ice. So 20 seconds, speed 9. Again, I'm not going to be able to help, so maybe Lucy and Ankita, you guys can have a little chat about cocktails.
Well, what can I say about cocktails in the Thermomix? It's an absolute must if you haven't yet tried them. As far as my favorites, I've tried quite a few, but recently it's been an espresso martini. Starts me off on a Friday evening, and it's just perfect. And you get that beautiful sort of foamy part at the top. They are just utterly perfect. And how much does a cocktail cost you when you go out? And the other one I absolutely love, and again, another tip I would recommend is the pina colada, but for a long time, the pina colada wasn't on Thermomix. And if ever there is a recipe you can't find on Cookie Do, just always put it into Google and say whatever it is on Thermomix. And if it's not on Cookie Do, it will be within the community, or there will be a blogger. I haven't yet come to a recipe I can't find that I can't make in the Thermomix.
Fantastic, thank you. So there you go, that's our mango pulp now with the ice. And we're going to add in our white rum. So I'm actually, to make it slightly less alcoholic tonight, I have used this, which is called Seedlip. It's a 0% alcohol, but it tastes just like gin or rum. And so yeah, basically I've used a little bit of that, but I'm still using the full whack of Cointreau, because, you know, I've got to have a little treat. So a little dash of that in the bowl. I've also made this cocktail with someone who was very liberal with their quantities, and the danger of it is the flavor of that mango, because it's so fresh, masks the alcohol. So just be really careful, because this cocktail can be very potent. Right, then we've got our lemon juice in the bowl, and pop our lid on and mix for 10 seconds, speed 9. Now, again, one of the beauties of doing your Thermomix in here, your cocktails in here, is that you can do like 6 or 8 portions at once, rather than 1 or 2 in a cocktail shaker. So when you're hosting, you know, girls, I can't wait to get back to hosting my girls' nights here, where I'll have like 8 to 10 friends round, and we'll make 2 or 3 different rounds of cocktails. And it's cost us like literally the cost of the ingredients, the cost of probably 1 cocktail drinking out. Everybody just brings a bottle of their spirits with them, and that's it. It's a fun party. It doesn't cost a lot at all, and it saves us a fortune versus eating out. So 10 seconds, speed 9, and then serve.
Can you imagine if we lived closer to each other? Would be a little bit dangerous. I'm in North Yorkshire. Ankita's in Canary Wharf, Lucy's in Wales, and then Bee's in Devon. So we couldn't get more spread out, really. But yeah, it would be pretty lethal. We'd all be piling round B.
I know, and
that would be the best. I would absolutely love to do that. When we do our Thermomix, like, you know, training events and meetups and stuff, we do obviously take a Thermomix with us, and we tend to, you know, make cocktails as a big training at our training events. Right, that's it. That is our strawberry, like our mango daiquiri done. You can see it is smooth, it is creamy, and it's probably strong. So yeah, very much looking forward to this. Cheers. My other tip just with cocktails is I make a jar of sugar syrup. This recipe is on Cookie Do. And I just keep it in the fridge, and you can do sugar syrup, you can do flavored syrups, depends what you like a lot. So strawberry daiquiri, you need strawberry syrup. But the recipes are all on Cookie Do, or like Lucy said, on Recipe Community as well. And I keep it in the fridge. I use this, because it's just sugar syrup, I use it to top my hot cross buns as well. So, you know, coming up to Easter weekend, pop some in your fridge, you've got it ready for your hot cross buns, you've got it for your cocktails. And yeah, enjoy. Right, back over to Sam, who's going to do our very, very seasonal special dish.
Thank you. Yeah, and sugar syrup's really expensive to buy. Before I had a Thermomix, I remember buying one. It was something like £9 for a bottle. It's sugar and water, guys. You know, and this is a great example of how we waste money. You know, if we're not kind of thinking carefully, we have to be really careful with our home economics these days. And on the 0% finance plan over 2 years, your Thermomix, it's basically costing you £14 a week to buy your Thermomix. I think we can all think of something that we waste £14 a week on, whether it's the kids nagging you for a hot chocolate and a bit of cake, you know, it's school holidays, and this can be like a daily thing, you know, grabbing something at work because you didn't have time to make something, you know, it is easily justified. So I know that you will help us with that if you have any friends that are thinking about it. So we're going to make our basil pesto, but we are substituting the basil pesto and the garlic for the lovely wild garlic. So I've got 80 grams of Parmesan, more or less. I'm using a little bit less because actually I've got about 55 there. You don't have to put full whack in. It makes it a little bit less Italianified, I suppose. You know, you could use this to brush onto naan breads. You could use it to stir through your cheese scone dough. It's really quite versatile, you know, have it with some fish or with some chicken. It's really great. But you can see I put good old whacks of cheese in there, and I'm just going to grate. 15 seconds, speed 10. You can stop your Thermomix anytime. Remember to override that, maybe see what's going on inside. But we've got, it never gets old, that. But our fantastic grated Parmesan. It's really light and fluffy. And obviously, if you bought pre-grated Parmesan or any kind of cheese in the shops, they always put a coating of an additive on there. It's an E number and it's an anti-caking agent to stop it from sticking together. You can just do that to order. You're going to save a fortune.
Sam, I costed that about a year ago, and
Yeah.
you save around £10 per kilogram grating it yourself. So if you ever saw people who buy it in the jar or buy it pre-grated in packets, it's £10 a kilogram you're saying goodbye to every time you use a kilogram of Parmesan.
That's amazing, isn't it? Just paying a factory to do the process for us. So we're going to skip over the garlic clove, and we're going to add pine nuts. I don't know what happened to the pine nuts. I don't think I have any. You can use anything. You can use walnuts, you can use sunflower seeds. I don't have any to hand, so I'm just going to skip over, and I'm going to go straight to the wild garlic instead of the basil. So I've got loads here. It's brilliant. If you've never done it before, just go for it. The leaves look like this. It's that lovely smell when you walk down the woods that signals spring is on the way. It's just gorgeous. Try and get it in an area that might be free of dog wee, would be my top tip. So, you know, this was on kind of a bit where they wouldn't have been. So I think we can be safe, but I've just rinsed it really well. And I've actually put it in a really old fashioned salad spinner here. You can see how much water I got out doing that, but you can just pat it on some, you know, clean tea towels instead. So this is the time to get the wild garlic while it's still really young. As the season progresses, it becomes older, it gets really, really strong. And just a bit more, they're just not as tender, the leaves really. They're lovely and young at the moment. We're going to add in some olive oil, 150 mils. I'm going to put probably a bit less than that in. You can start with half. I always put a thin layer of oil over the top just to preserve it anyway. And I always put lemon in mine as well, just to balance the flavour. So just juice of half a lemon. And some salt. Some nice sea salt flakes, just half a teaspoon. And 20 seconds, speed 7.
Sam, I went and bought that lemon squeezer that you just used after last week. After last class, and I'm showing everyone. I'm like, just look at this.
You get so much juice out of it, don't you?
Incredible. I said exactly the same when I used it. Just so good.
Brilliant. I love it. Oh, smells so, so good. So this is the Basil Pesto. Someone was just asking, but I've just replaced with wild garlic. I don't know if you can see how green that is. Let me put it into a bowl because it is just
Can I just say, I'm just going to answer a question on chat. Amazon.
Yeah.
And I think they were £9.99. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're not expensive at all. And they just do a great job. I mean, I put lemon in everything. If it needs something, try lemon and salt. It's usually the answer. There we go. Oh,
I'm going to say I bought the one that actually has the lime as well.
oh, you fancy pants.
Oh, I thought I'd just, yeah. And that's actually great for, because I think lemons I can squeeze, but limes sometimes are a bit harder. Oh, you got the same, Lucy? Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to upgrade.
I think you are.
Actually, mine does limes as well, girls. I'll have you know.
Oh.
So that
Straight
is,
in.
see the colour of this. It's absolutely glorious. It smells amazing and really, really versatile. Had I gone on and done my asparagus, it's just to go with my crumb, 500 grams of cold water, and you just put them in the varoma. And it will tell you which part to use, and it's just 10 minutes of steaming. Then what you want to do is have ready a bowl of cold water with ice in it, because you want to stop that cooking process. It will continue to cook. So if you want to maintain the vibrancy of your veg, that's the way to get it staying lovely and green, which is what we want. So I hope you've enjoyed that.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
So I wanted to show you all my finished dessert.
And mine's done too, B.
Fantastic. So there we have it. Our chocolate fondants. They literally pop out really, really easily. I did also I've got a sharp long knife, so I just kind of popped that around the edge just to make sure it was easy. Totally recommend one of these off of Amazon as well. Just a little kind of icing sugar duster. They have a lid as well, so it can stay in the fridge. But let me chop into it. And you guys can see our beautiful fondant. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
So jealous. I've got all healthy things here.
I don't. I'm breastfeeding. There you go.
Oh,
And
that
you can
just
see
looks
the white
amazing.
chocolate through the middle as well. So
Lovely.
yeah, that is my pudding with my cocktail. Sorry, ladies, you can have the fun ones next time. But ladies and gents, we just want to say a huge thank you for joining us this evening on the call. I think I haven't put all the links in the chat, so if you need them, they'll be emailed out afterwards anyway. But yeah, if you have any questions, please do just let us know. And as the ladies have already said, you know, we are so grateful for any referrals, or even just, you know, just talking about your Thermomix. It does the world of wonders for us because so few people know what it is. Remember, we have our amazing offer 1348, and you get the second bowl for free, and you get the cutter included as well. So thank you so much. And of course, if you want your personalized spatulas, and I got a sparkling Thermomix delivered for free today, which was very exciting. If you want treats and perks like that, then do come and join us as an advisor. We'd love to show you the ropes and involve you in, you know, the wider wonderful world of Thermomix. Thanks, guys. Have a lovely evening and have a very, very happy Easter. Do tag us in whatever you make. We would love to reshare. Oh, and over to Lucy. Let's see that. That looks incredible. Oh, Lucy, you're on mute.
You're still on mute.
Am I on?
Oh, I've just muted you. Sorry, I was trying to ask you to unmute.
There we go. There we go. I got literally the family waiting at the stairs. Oh, there we go. There's one. So it's all ready to be taken to the table. Smells amazing. And I've got steamed broccoli in my varoma. So we're ready. And I've got my glass of wine on the side ready. So I'm going to be going down and enjoying that.
And if you want to pin to me, B, I've got a half-eaten. I've got a half-eaten steamed potted because it was hot and it was ready about 4 minutes ago. So I've been munching away But I've taken pictures for my socials, so we'll send those all through. But I mean, it's just such a wonderful recipe as a starter or a brunch, and so impressive because, you know, the souffle-ness of the Thermomix and that steamed is just quite impressive. So yeah, I think I might eat both because no one's home yet.
Well, you've inspired me, ladies, because I have not made, apart from possibly the daiquiris, any of those.
But the daiquiri is pretty good, Sam, so that's all right. I mean, cocktails are very strong, aren't they? I'm a fan of cosmopolitans, but when I've made that recipe, it really is a hit.
Yeah, same with the margaritas. It's like rocket fuel, really. So yeah, not that I'm condoning alcohol, it's very bad, but it's also very good in some.
Yeah.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Absolutely. Do we have any other questions?
I don't think so.
So it's so lovely to see all of you, and thank you so much for supporting us.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
everybody. Keep doing what you're doing. Spread the love and recommend us because, yeah, we just love the interactions with you all. And yeah, happy eating and nice family time over Easter.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.